Now to discuss the Gorsuch confirmation and his potential impact on the Supreme Court and the law of the land. Former law clerk to Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, Barbara Smith joining us. Good to have you with us. South Texas College of Law constitutional law professor Josh Blackman. Great to have you both here. Let me start, if I may, with the very simple question. This is such a historic moment. Is there going to be, Barbara, in your judgment, any greater sensitivity to what he does or does not do on the court? I can't even imagine the pressure that's on the man.
Sure. And on day one, Justice Gorsuch is going to walk into the building, and there are going to be a huge stack of decisions that he'll have to make. Cases that are 4-4, petitions for certiorari, where his vote will determine whether the case is granted or not. And in that moment, when he finally has a lifetime appointment and he's unreviewable, I sincerely hope that he maintains what we saw throughout his confirmation hearings, which is a personal modesty and a judicial humility that will ensure that he'll continue to follow the law wherever it leads him.
Well, that'll hold him in good stead. And how will the challenge be, do you think, Josh, from his associates now on the high court?
Lou, today is a wonderful day for the Constitution. Justice Gorsuch has already taken the oath. He's already hired law clerks, and he's hitting the ground running. And we're already seeing that he, within the next week, will decide cases involving religious liberty, involving the Second Amendment, involving the First Amendment. These are very significant cases, and I hope Justice Gorsuch can come close to replacing Justice Scalia. It will be tough. But in the best case scenario, maybe, just maybe, he can tug on his former boss, Justice Kennedy, a bit to the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's going to, of course, administer the oath, the public oath, Monday to his former law clerk. They become then the first clerk and justice to who's on the Supreme Court serving together at the same time, as together often is. Barbara, let me turn to the issue of, in this instance, more the issue of the nuclear option. We've heard so much about this nuclear option. It doesn't look to me, frankly, that it had any impact whatsoever. It is, and I can't imagine that it would have any influence going forward. What are your thoughts about it? A simple majority for justice of the Supreme Court? It sounds like just good common sense to me.
Sure. It reminds me of the famous line from T.S. Eliot, "This is the way the world ends, not with a bang but a whimper." There was a lot of sort of hand-waving and hair-pulling leading up to the decision to invoke the nuclear option. And then after it happened, Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans decided they could, in fact, move the vote on Judge Gorsuch up to 11:30 on Friday so they could all get home earlier for the weekend. So after the trigger was pulled, I think, everyone's sort of coming to their senses and realizing at the end of the day, the outcome of the nuclear option is Justice Gorsuch, which at the end of the day is a really good outcome.
What do you think will be the outcome on the extreme vetting, which the High Court will surely hear, the president's order, the so-called travel ban, executive order, or extreme vetting? Josh?
Sure.
So, Lou, this case will come to the Supreme Court very soon. Indeed, there are two courts of appeals considering it. And in the next few months, there may be a petition for what's called an emergency stay to the Supreme Court. And that's something that takes 5 votes to grant. And it's very possible that Judge Gorsuch will be the 5th vote. During his hearing, he remained remarkably quiet about the travel ban and wouldn't answer any questions. But he soon will be he'll be forced to confront whether this ban is lawful.
And the number of judges yet to be appointed to the federal court system, Barbara, does this in any way influence the speed of that process now that is filling those vacant judgeships?
Well, thanks to Senator Harry Reid in 2013, when he decided to invoke the nuclear option for federal appellate judges, we've been relying on a majority vote to fill those seats for quite a while. And, again, it hasn't resulted in the kind of awful outcomes that Democrats predicted would occur if they invoked the nuclear option for Justice Gorsuch. So I think and hope that the Trump White House is working hard to fill the vacancies on the federal court right now. I think that's a really important function of the president, and it's important for the future of the country.
Josh, are you concerned that there's so many vacancies?
So, Lou, the true concern with the vacancies is not the filibuster, but something called the blue slip.
No, I didn't mean it was, I didn't mean to suggest it was. What I'm asking is, there are all those vacancies. There have been before under the Obama administration. He's appointed something like a third of the federal judiciary. Is there some reason that the Trump administration is holding back here?
Well, I think they were looking to clean out the Supreme Court first. Now that Gorsuch's nomination is concluded, I fully expect the president to submit a list of names to the Senate Judiciary Committee. I can say from information that the president is already vetting people. There are a number of people on the short list, and I think he'll be very impressed by the people he's putting on the federal bench.
All right, Josh, thank you. Look forward to it. Josh Blackman, Barbara Smith, good to see you both again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next.